Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for joining us on Talk Radio.
Absolute pleasure.
It's day one. You're in Downing Street. You've written those letters to the submarine commanders. What's next? What's the first thing you do?
Number one, Ross, we need to be increasing our spending on education around the country and lifting up the per capita spend. Number two, we want to have a big programme of transport infrastructure, and I'm looking at all sorts of things we can do to help Andy Street in the West Midlands, looking at Northern Powerhouse Rail, looking at all sorts of things we can do to help with our roads. We need to be putting some money in police.
And on Brexit.
And on Brexit. We will, of course, be pushing our plan into action.
So we understand.
And getting ready to come out on October the
31st.
31st, correct.
Come what may.
Come what may.
Do or die?
Come what may. Do or die. Come what may.
Plan A is to get an agreement that's better than the current one, you've said, and to get out on October the 31st. Now, if that's blocked by Parliament, blocked by MPs, blocked by the European Union, what is Plan B?
Well, first of all, we need to get rid of this current withdrawal agreement and get the best bits in it, put them through Parliament, and then we want to make sure that we keep that money suspended and waiting to hand it over if we get the deal that we want.
Right.
And then we want to make sure that we come up with the solutions for the Northern Irish border. And I think that the way to come out is with a standstill between the UK and the EU, so that we keep going with the existing arrangements until such time as we've completed our free trade agreement. And we use that period to solve the questions of the Northern Irish border.
You said yesterday...
I think we can do that.
You said yesterday that positive energy would help.
I think a bit of positive energy would help, frankly. I think we've been going through... I've never seen such morosity and gloom from a government. For 3 years, we've been sitting around, wrapped in defeatism, telling the British public that they can't do this or that. It is pathetic.
But it's going to take more...
It is absolutely pathetic.
It's going to take more than positive energy. That's what your critics say. It's not just about bluster. It's not just about positive energy. What's Plan B? What is Plan B if it gets blocked?
Don't forget, we haven't even really wanted to come out. That's the heart of the problem. What we've been doing is we've been creating our own prison. The backstop, the customs union, the single market are all basically designed to keep us in. So Plan B,
yep,
and C and D.
Yep.
Plan B, we get the deal we want, the type I've described. Plan B is to get a standstill agreement, a GATT 24 paragraph 5B type agreement. If the EU won't do that, hang on. If the EU won't do that, and we have to come out on WTO terms, then Plan C would be to get ready for that outcome, and obviously we're going to do that. And it's very, very important that we do. And the British people have had enough of being told that they're incapable of getting ready to do this. Actually, the preparations by March the 29th were pretty far advanced. They can be very far advanced.
Okay, fine.
By October the 31st.
Okay, accept that's the plan.
So that's plans A, B, and C.
A, B, and C. So say they've all gone wrong. Can you categorically rule out...
What is this defeatism? This is unbelievable.
Can you categorically rule out an extension, a further extension?
Yes,
categorically rule it out.
But let me tell you why. Because it would be up to the Prime Minister of the day, I hope myself, to decide, under the current terms of the extension that we have, to apply for such an extension.
Okay.
And it is up to the EU to decide whether to grant it. At the moment, the law says that the UK is leaving the EU. International treaty law says the UK is leaving the EU on the 31st of October.
So no further extension to Article 50? No further extension?
No.
Okay. If you can't get changes that you want to the withdrawal agreement, would something in the political declaration, like a timetable on the backstop, would that potentially be enough? Or is it got to be the withdrawal agreement?
I think the withdrawal agreement itself, as indeed Theresa May admitted in the House of Commons, is defective, and it's over.
So it's got to be a change to the withdrawal agreement, not the political declaration?
It's got to be a change to the withdrawal agreement.
Okay.
I mean, more than a change. It's got to be, we need a new withdrawal agreement. If we're going to go out on the basis of a withdrawal agreement at all.
And if none of this happens, if it all goes wrong, will you commit your premiership on this? Will you resign
Well,
if
look,
you can't get us out on October the 31st?
I think that it follows from everything I've said that I think politics is at a crossroads in this country, and it is fundamental to trust in politics that we come out of the EU. We've had 2 delays now.
Yeah.
And
Let's move on from Brexit.
My friends and colleagues in Parliament is they've had a long time now to think about this.
Let's move on from Brexit.
Go on,
Why
Ross.
would you be a better Prime Minister than Jeremy Hunt?
Look, I don't want to cast any aspersions on my opponent. All I would say is that I think I have 3 key merits. I fought for Brexit. I believe in it. I could, unlike any other candidate in this election, I can deliver it. Unlike any other candidate in this election, I can also formulate a great one nation, modern conservative agenda and show how I can unite the whole country. Unlike any other candidate, and you look at what we did in London, and I believe that I'm the only candidate who can actually get ready in due course to defeat Jeremy Corbyn.
So very quick stuff on your personal lifestyle. What do you do to relax? What do you do to switch off?
I like to paint, or I make things. I like to.
What do you make?
I have a thing where I make models of. When I was in London, well, Mayor of London, we built a beautiful. I make buses.
You make models of buses.
I make models of buses.
So they're going to be in Downing Street.
So what I do? No, what I don't make models of buses. But what I make is, I get old, wooden crates.
Yeah.
Right. And then I paint them. And they have two. Suppose it's a wine. It's a box that's been used to contain two wine bottles, right?
Right.
And it will have a dividing thing.
Yeah.
And I turn it into a bus, and I put passengers. You really want to know this?
You're making buses. You're making cardboard buses. That's what you do to enjoy yourself.
I paint the passengers enjoying themselves.
Okay, great.
On the wonderful bus.
Great.
Low carbon, of a kind that we brought to the streets of London, reducing CO2, reducing nitrous oxide, reducing pollution.
If you weren't Boris Johnson, which other figure from history would you be?
I would like to.
If you weren't born Boris Johnson.
I think I've always greatly admired Pericles of Athens because he was the guy who said that politics was about the many, not the few. He was the first to use exactly that phrase.
A great orator as well.
And a great orator. And it was said that he thundered and lightened when he spoke. But what he did was he used great infrastructure. He invested in fantastic infrastructure. He developed the not just the Acropolis, but the Piraeus port, which was integral to the success of Athens.
What makes you angry? Do you get angry easily?
I'm a pretty. I think I'm a pretty even-tempered kind of guy. I don't easily get angry.
What makes you happiest then? When are you at your happiest as a man? When are you happiest?
Very good question. I think, like all human beings, I probably feel happiest when I've accomplished something that I've worked very hard to do, and that gives me so.
Are you enjoying this campaign? Are you enjoying this campaign? Not being a submarine anymore.
I always enjoy campaigns. I love campaigning. But what makes me happiest, I think, is the sense of completing a great task, and that is what we must do. And that I will not be happy, and I will not rest until we get out of the EU on October the 31st.
It is not
the beginning of any great task, but the continuing of the same until it be thoroughly finished, that yieldeth the true glory.
What was the last sports match you watched?
God,
not much of a sportsman.
What was the last sports match I watched? Blimey.
Football or rugby?
I suppose I must have watched some. I don't ever watch TV anymore.
What was the last sport you played?
I played tennis quite a lot.
Tennis?
I played tennis quite a lot, yeah.
So if you're Prime Minister, you'll be in the box at Wimbledon? I
have been at the box at Wimbledon. I tell you what, I watched a cricket match. I went to watch England against someone or other, and unfortunately I fell asleep. Anyway, that went badly.
Boris Johnson, thank you very much for joining us on Talk Radio. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure. My pleasure.